Okay, so the next part is let's talk about the switch. I just do here. You can go back to the notes later on. But the switch case look kind of similar to these. So let me just do right here. Okay, and let me turn these off for now. So do this. Okay, the switch case. Switch means like if you think of a switch case, like if you put your hand to a jar of cookies or a jar of marbles, you pick up one marble. What color is it? Right? What number is it? Like the lottery, right? Lotto. So that's what a switch is. You only take one data out. Okay. So the syntax is you put the word switch, and then again the parentheses is where the condition stays. Not condition, but the actual data you are testing goes in there, and that's not the condition, by the way. It's a value. Okay, the value that you pick, like if you put your hand in the jar, you pick a candy or a marble. What color is it? Right? You test that color with the condition. So followed by a pair of curlies, and this block. What are we testing? For example, I'm testing. In this case, we're entering number 3 and 3. So I put here, I'm testing for N3 because I don't know what N3 is. Is it going to be equal to 10 or equal to N2, 50, right? So those are the cases. Okay, and I'm testing if it's larger than. Maybe you do the yeah. You can't test for larger in this example. In Java, it's a little bit tricky. In Visual Basic, it's more flexible, but in Java. In most languages, you test for the exact number. Okay. So I'm testing that if this is equal to that or that, and using switch is an advantage, also this disadvantage. The disadvantage is you can't compare if N1 is larger or greater than N2 or something like that. So that, and then you would every case you put the word case in front. And case what? If it's equal to N1, okay, that means equal. Okay, case N3 equals N1, then run this statement. So you put the case here, followed by the number or the value that matches this, then you put that here, and then followed by a colon, and then you put your statements here. So you can put here sysout N1 equals N3. Okay. We'll come back to that. Let's put 10 for now. Okay. This is constant, I mean, like because this is not a constant number, and I didn't like it. It has to be a constant number. That means, like, if I put a variable, because N1 can change. So it doesn't like that. It has to be constant. So if that means I put a number in here, or if I choose N1, then I have to make this final. Okay. To make that final, then you make all those N1, 2, and 3 all constant. I mean, they cannot be changed. One they assign a number, it can't be changed, so that you can test that it will always stay fixed at that number. Because if you put N1, then sometimes you can change N1 along the way, and then that could cause a problem. But again, it has to match a very specific value. And then you run your statement or statements in here, and then you always terminate that with a break, like you mentioned. Okay. Break means only run that case when I'm done. When it reaches the break statement, it will exit out of the entire switch, and then it will go and then continue down here line 20, for example.
So I ran into a problem. So all my, when I define a link and then the number, it can't be a user encoded number.
For N3?
For N1.
Oh, N1, yeah, N1 you can't because we assigned a value already. Once you assign a value, you cannot change it. N3 is legal because N3 we haven't assigned a value yet. Because when I declare the N3, it doesn't have a value. until line 12. Then after that, I can't change it. Okay. But yeah, 1 and 2 are fixed. Because that final means final, no more, right? Okay, so case n2, if equal to n2, then print out n2 equals n3, and then break. So, and then we have the else, right? So same thing. If n3 is equal to n1, then print this out. Else, if n1 and 2 is equal to n3, print that out. Else, right? The else part is the default part. Okay? Default is the catch-all. If none of the above are true, then run that statement. So you can say not equal. And then down here, you don't have to put break. It's the last statement. Okay? The default has to be the last, just like your if and else case. Like here, I didn't mention that, but this else has to be the last statement. You cannot have it above other else block inside. It's illegal. Okay? So if I go like if 1 is equal to 1, like that, and they say else if. Well, let me just turn that off. I'll just show you. This one here. If you put this on the top, right? If I grab that, put it above here, okay, it won't work. Well, in this case, it does because it goes in here. If I take that out, okay, and if I put that else block here, okay, as you can see, there's an error because you cannot have it else and then else if again like that. Okay, it doesn't like it and it's not legal. So you cannot have the else in between. If the if block that group is not completed yet, you cannot have it in there. The else is always the last one. Okay, just like the default inside the case, this has to be the last statement. I cannot put this above, so I cannot have another case here, right? Let's see. Or can I? I don't think I can. Maybe it does let you. Two new languages. I know one language doesn't let you do it.
So does the switch statement have to have it?
No, you don't have to. It's optional. Yeah, so, but usually that is the catch-all statement. If none of the above is true, then it will go to a default. If you don't provide that default, then it will just skip it and nothing gets printed if it's not true. Okay, so if I run this now, it should still work just like the if statement before. If I put in 2, then nothing is printed, so it should be not equal. Wait, I mean not equal. If I put in 10, then it should equal to n1. And if you put 50, then it equals n2. Okay? And if you take out that default, right, you just comment that out, then if I put in 5, then nothing is printed. Okay? So nothing. Because you don't have that catch-all statement. So this is like the else part. So be careful with the break statement here. Sometimes you want to choose the case statement here. I mean take out the break because of your else of your or. So the way to have it now, it should be like this, indented. Okay, this is a very specific match to a particular value. That means it's the end part of your code, right? If that equals that one, right? Or if the n1 equals n2, that's to run that. And if it's n1 and n3, then that's run that. Only one of those cases will be true. If you want to say something like if n1 is, so if either of those are true, right? Then print something. what I want to say was something like this. If n3 equals n1 or n3 equals n2, right? So the OR case. Either one of those is true, then print equal both, something like that, right? How do you print something like that? Because the way you have it here is only either this or that, can't be both. Okay? I mean, you can put a message here to say differently, but so to solve the problem, you will take out, so here you won't print anything, okay? And basically you don't put a break either, you just do that. Okay, so you take that part out, and then down here the message will be, instead of that I should say equals both, right? One or the other, actually not both, but one or the other. This is what equals for now. Okay, it's either 1 or 2. And because if I enter 1, 10, it's going to run the first case, run that first case, and there's no statement here. I didn't put the break here, so it's going to go to the next case. That's what it means. It's going to leak out and it continues on the list of all the cases if you don't put a break there, if you don't pause it. Okay, so if I go and enter here a number, 20, I should get the not equal. Not on this side, but this side. Yeah, if I put 20, then it's going to ignore the first case. Doesn't match that because that's 10. The second case, 50, doesn't match that, so it's going to go to default, right? So if I put 20, it's going to go to default, which is not equal. Okay? But now if I put 10 or 50, then I get the same result. If I put 10, it matches N1, but it's still going to print equal. It prints from N2 instead. Okay? Because I didn't put the break statement there. I didn't pause it. You just step on the brake, so it leaks to the next case. Okay, it doesn't matter if this case is true or not. Actually, yeah, it doesn't matter because it will force it. This will become like the statements for plot 1 as well. And if I put 50 also matches N2, then I get the same result equal. Okay, so this is how you do an OR with the switch case. And so if you have arranged numbers, if a number is between 1 and 10, right? So that's easier with the if block. So if I say if n1, now if n3 is greater than 0, right? Between 1 and 10, including 1, for example, then 0, and n3 is less than 11, right? This is one way to do it, from 1 to 10, inclusive. With the greater less than sign, I'm not including 0 and 10 and 11. If you want to include it, then you put an equal sign. That's inclusive, okay? But now it's between 1 and 10. Then I could say between 1 and 10, right? So then when I run, if I put 5, it's going to print because that's between 1 and 10. Okay. If I put 11, then it will fail because 11 is not included inside here, so therefore nothing is printed out, this part. So you can see that the switch case is not ideal for this kind of operation. The if block will make more sense because I cannot put a range in here. To do that, I have to say if it's 1, right? Case 2, you can see what it goes. Case 3, right? Case 4, and so on, all the way to 10. And it's not ideal for the switch statement. So I'm going to show you the advantages and disadvantages of both. if you want to be, if you match an exact number, then the switch case is more useful. It's much easier. Save you a lot of code. And you can also have nested case inside each other. Go back to what it was before. I can say case 1, if it's N1, then in here I can also do another switch. Okay, I can do switch again. I can test for N1, and then I'll do another block in here. Okay, if N1 is let's just say well, in this case doesn't make sense. So let's say 2. I can test for 2, or you can test for another number or another thing. Okay, and you can do here, okay, case if it's equal to 10. If that is true, then do something. Inside here, I can keep going. I can say, oh, in that case, I'm going to test for an if. If something is true, so if N3 is greater than 100, then we put a block in here. So you can see where this is going. It's confusing because of the way. Let's see, I could put a block here, I guess. So this is part of that. And then this is the switch. So this is the case. And then this is the if block. This is for the if block. Right? So as you can see, it gets complicated as you go in here. Yeah. So you can say you can do something here. Okay. So you have a nested if inside a case, inside a switch, inside another switch. So it gets complicated, and so be careful when you do this. If it gets to this again, break it down to something simpler. It's really hard to debug when you have something like this. And sometimes you have to do this because of the nature of what that situation is, maybe. And vice versa. I could have a switch. I could put this whole thing right inside here. Print that out and then put that all inside here. Okay? So you can nest code inside each other like this way. Again, depend on what you are doing. Right? Which one makes more sense? When do I use it? When should I not use it? Okay? So that is the case and the switch. The switch case, and then the if and else block. Any questions on these? So again, you cannot compare like this one here, right? I can compare if N3 is larger than 0, but with the case and switch, you cannot do that. I can say case N3 is larger than, I cannot say N3 is larger than 1, right? You can't do that here because it has to be a value. You cannot do a condition there. Question?
All right. So just to clarify my question. So it's like when you do the switch first, and then it equals to N1, then it does a switch to if it's equal to. Can you re-explain that?
This one here?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like it's like a nested if, right? If N3 is equal to N1, then maybe this is a different case. I want to check for N2, but I check only N2 if this is true only, right? If this is true, then I'm going to check N2 and make sure N2 is maybe equal to 10 or something, right? Then I'll run this part. So this one here can be rewritten like this: if N3 is equal to N1, okay, and N2 equals 10. Right? See, that's easier than that. Right? That's why you see this. Okay, this is way too complicated. I can use the compound condition. Or you can say if that is true, then like we did earlier, put it to a nested block. If N2 is that. Okay, so it's also that means there's a nested if inside another if. So this and what I showed you earlier. So if n3 equals n1, and n2 equals 10. All these are exactly the same. You can do this, you can do that, or you can do that. Okay, they all do exactly the same thing. So if you look at this, hey, this is much shorter up here. And there is even one, so you can do something here, right? And then something in here. Print out something. You can print a message